If you know both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, you definitely know that they are very passionately driven creators and fans that only want to do better and really turn things around for the franchise and for the entire community at hand around the globe. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, getting right into exactly what's going on right now for one big project, and something that George Lucas was able to do that I really do believe is pure genius and something that is really done on an expert level, given that they are going to be using a lot of strategies to really reunite the fans. Now, the biggest question of all is, will this specific thing be enough to convince the fans that Star Wars is going in the right path or direction? Let's get into it. Now, one thing that we do know about right now is that Bob Iger, alright, you guys may very well know that basically his main focus now is to focus on Star Wars movies again, to shift away from strictly focusing on Star Wars TV shows. They feel that they need to eventize Star Wars, and Bob Iger and the executives are really going hand in hand with Kathleen Kennedy. Bob Iger wants a movie at least every single year. Kathleen Kennedy does not. She wants to kind of James Bondify Star Wars, where you have one movie every like 2 or 3 years or something around those lines. Anyways, moving ahead. With George Lucas working very close with both Favreau and Filoni, recently he has been making big shifts in Jon and Dave's focus on Star Wars that's going to be better. Now, recently what Lucas was able to finalize with Jon and Dave has much to do with their upcoming Star Wars movie that is going to, of course, now be taking place within the Mandoverse. Thanks to Lucas, however, heavily, of course, this is going to feature the return of Luke, Han, and Leia that will be making a full-fledged reunion scene on the big screen once again for the Dave Filoni-centered Star Wars movie. Now, so far, actor Graham Hamilton is set to actually return as Luke with ILM's new technology that is going to be revolutionary technology that will surpass deepfake technology. Now, his plan is actually bring back the original trio to the big screen, and how he was the one that heavily pushed Jon and Dave to make this into a reality. At first, Jon and Dave wanted to only do this for the upcoming Rangers of the New Republic series that's being reinstated. However, now they fully want to actually do this on the big screen to really show the support for the fans and the overall fandom, to really focus on the 3 main characters coming back together again on the big screen in the cinema. Now, let me just say one thing about this, is that this is something that they long missed. In the sequel trilogy, it was something that they really had a missed opportunity with, and I don't believe it's going to have the same exact impact if all of the original actors were alive and well and had that one, lightning in a bottle chance to do so, right? It's something, let me be honest. It definitely is something, and I think it is something that's going to be, entertaining on a very grand level, but I just don't believe it's going to mark itself as legendary or as iconic as it could have been if they did this, for example, in The Force Awakens back in 2015, something that Mark Hamill really wanted to do, by the way. He wanted the original trio to get back together again in one of the moments in The Force Awakens that never really ended up happening. Unfortunately, the reunion of the original trio was all scattered. It's very sad that we never even got to see Luke and Han meet in the, sequel trilogy at all. So, moving on to the next big thing here that has a lot to do with George Lucas is that he is the guy that really pushed Jon and Dave to make this happen for the Dave Filoni-centered film. Again, Lucasfilm and Disney, they are desperately trying to get this Dave Filoni movie out by 2026, but with the recent writer's strike, it's really going to make you wonder, where is this really heading? Is it going to be delayed until 2027? What's going on with that? We have no idea. The same exact thing goes as follows for the new Jedi Order movie. A lot of fans are calling that the Rey Star Wars movie. But moving forward, they already have a general plan or idea of how this is going to happen, and that they want the reunion to hold connections to Luke's new Jedi Order and his academy, either on Ossus or Yavin 4. ILM is planned to step in to digitally recreate both Luke and Leia. Luke will be done with the help of both Mark Hamill and Graham Hamilton, while Leia will be redone in a similar strategy to that of Rogue One. However, Carrie's daughter, Billie Lourd, is said to have some kind of involvement in how this process will be complete. And that does make you wonder, what kind of involvement will Billie Lourd have in ILM's new technology to make this complete? That's very interesting. Additionally, however, Filoni is desperate trying to get Harrison Ford to come back with ILM's new de-aging technology, and Ford, not a big surprise here, is reportedly to be very standoffish, to the point where Lucas is even trying to convince him to return as well. Now, guys, if you can't get Harrison Ford back through George Lucas trying to convince him, I think it's pretty much a lost cause. It's not going to happen. So that's why I was saying the same exact thing earlier, that I don't believe it's going to have the same impact as it would have if they did this in the sequel trilogy with The Force Awakens, but I do believe that this will nonetheless have a lot of entertainment value if done correctly and executed very well. I mean, let's be honest here. Who wouldn't like to see Luke, Han, and Leia on the big screen again? You know, I think that even if it's not truly Harrison Ford standing there or Carrie Fisher standing there with Mark Hamill in the general sense as their older selves, I think it's still something and it's still an effort, and I really do give George Lucas a lot of credit for making this actually happen for the Dave Filoni-centered film. Again, Disney's desperate right now. They're in full damage control mode, but they also want to be very genuine at the same exact time, and they want to make sure that they have their head on straight with what they are going to be doing with Star Wars and what's going to be right or wrong for the franchise. So, moving on, Harrison Ford is said to be at a standstill on this decision ever since Lucas started convincing him. ILM's new tech is fortunately described to be flawless and perfected to the point where fans won't be able to tell much of a difference between the real actors and the technology that's planned for the Dave Filoni film. The film is set to adapt Heir to the Empire on many levels. So again, the Ahsoka series is just the beginning of adapting Heir to the Empire, and this Dave Filoni-centered Star Wars film is basically going to continue on with that story. So, we got a little ways until the Dave Filoni movie arrives. They want these shows to basically be the lead up to that, and we've been talking about this ourselves here for months, even before it was announced at Celebration, that yes, there is a new sequel trilogy, in a sense, quote-unquote, that's being created that's going to start off with one film by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau that will open its doors to two other films. That's going to basically be a new sequel trilogy, hence post-Return of the Jedi movies. That's Disney's overall strategy right now. So, we're not quite sure what it's going to be called. You know, there's no code name for this Dave Filoni movie just yet. That's how early in development it really is. But they're already in the notes phase about what they truly want to do with the film. So overall, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this. And if you guys did enjoy everything, you know, I would really love to hear what you guys have to say about George Lucas's efforts. And I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.